So the other bits that I got from Statfold Model Railway, although I'd pre-ordered them beforehand, unfortunately they hadn't got finished printing. So although I was waiting for Justin to come up due to traffic, unfortunately he wasn't able to give me on the show, but the Monday after the weekend he posted them up and I got them pretty quick. So we have 2 packs of the ladder catenary masts, 2 packs of the lattice girder catenary headspans, and 2 packs of the lattice girder catenary expansion packs. What a mouthful. And two glues. I'm not sure why I got 2, but probably I don't know how long, I don't know how much this stuff goes for or lasts. So I'm gonna have to build possibly 4 of these up, or just 2, obviously to go across each viaduct, just so I can work out measurements and all the rest of it. So I will make up 2 of these out of the one packs. I think Jan over at AY76, I think he said that this pack does 20 single masts, but obviously if you're putting them in pairs then it does 10 pairs. So yeah, it looks a fun kit to build. I'm gonna have Dylan from Scale Model Scenery, who built this pack. I'm gonna watch the video while I build it so I can understand how it goes together, because obviously I'm only going to be building 2, including the reason I'm building a pair of struts and a single headspan is so although it'll be over 2 tracks, as obviously this expansion pack is from the station area where all the 4 tracks come back together, all that section up to the edge, the tunnel portals, all that will be for expanding over the 4 tracks. Same with the country village scene, that will be also the same, and across the junction work. I'm not 100% sure of whether that's just going to be 2 and 2 or just share out 4. Not 100% sure yet. And then obviously I need to get the little bits that hang down the bottoms for the wires, which to be honest will probably be the last thing before these all go into place. Although yes, I am building them now, but like I said, it's to pre-plan moving forward so that I can put markers down where the ballast is going to be, or whether I just don't glue the bases in or onto the bottom of these on some of them, and just where I mark out on the layout, glue the base bits in place in situ, so that I know that all I need to do is just build that upper part, the expansion, and then obviously the return headspan, and then just slot it in as the final piece. So hopefully hopefully I can do these pretty quick. So we'll be back in a sec once I've, I suppose, started, built it, whatever, or halfway through. You never know with these videos. So we'll be back in a sec, guys. So just getting it out of the pack, following the idea that I had of putting the bases down first. To be fair, that's probably going to be the easiest way of moving forward when it comes to building the rest of these. As you can see, my little finger there's 2 little notches that when you sit it in the holes, can't really get it to focus that well, but you can just about make out that the notches no, camera doesn't want to focus. But anyway, yeah, so moving forward, I think my idea of putting these bases down, although I'll have these ones possibly glued, whatever, but yeah, moving forward I think build spacing, once this is built, obviously mark out with a pencil whatever where they need to go, and then cut the rest of the bases out with, I think it's these, they're supposed to sit on top, I think, and then obviously when it comes to fitting the rest of the masts, they'll just slot in the bases, and that'll be the end of all the stuff that needs to be done. So I will be back in a second. I will carry on building this while watching Dylan, just to make sure that I'm doing it right. So we'll be back in a sec, guys. So this is the first one built out of two. It's a bit wobbly at the minute, I don't think, because when I was trying to put the jig together, this obviously slots in, it's got grooves and whatnot, it's supposed to slot into the hole, so when I was trying to do it, you can just about see that it's not fully gone in 90 degrees. I had to shave off some of the little notches along the bottom to try and get it to fit, so I think it has give it a bit of a kink, but like I said, because I've not glued these, the bases will get glued to the layout, and then this whole section I'll just pop out, and then when I come to fit it eventually with the necessary thingy bobs coming down, stand back up, then I will glue, I'll put a splodge of glue on each side, slot it in, and then hopefully that will give itself back to it being a bit more level. So I'm currently working on the second one, and to be fair, as much as I was dreading doing this kit, it is actually quite simply straightforward and easy to do. It's, to be fair, it's quite an easy kit to build, to be honest, and it's not too, say, repetitive. You are doing the same thing, but it doesn't seem like you are. If, like, say for instance, you know what I mean, if you do a mast at a time like I'm doing, you could probably, I'm intending on building all of these, well, just I think one full pack of single, and then the other one double, possibly. But yeah, I'll try and build a few more single, well, double track, but single spans, and then see where I go. Obviously I need to work out in relation to how, from obviously one, how long, how far apart they've got to be. I'm not 100% sure. I'll try and do a bit of research, but yeah, other than that, apart from the little faff that I had with the jig, which I think it's the way it is, to be honest. It's not that much of a struggle, but like I said, I had to shave off little things, but at the end of the day, I don't really mind, to be honest, shaving it a little bit. But yeah, as I said, it's not that much. It looks, you know what I mean, it looks really fiddly, but when it comes down to it, it's not that hard. I'm not being funny. If I can build that in five minutes while watching the tablet and listening to music on the phone, Godzilla could probably make it. But yeah, I'll try and get the second one done, and then we'll take a video of them up on the layout, and then we'll see where the video ends up. So I will see you when I've built the second one. So these are the station area side catenary works. So obviously these two from the previous little bit, I've already built 2 of these, which are obviously double tracked, which when I take these up to the loft in a second, you'll see where they are. So obviously, if you're looking from the point of view of the layout, so this is where the retained brick wall will be, so it's the furthest point. So I think the platform will be by there, whatever. The two tracks in the middle, platform, and then the 2 tracks that way. So we'll go up into the loft and I will show you how they should or will look. I have gone a bit of a production line with the mast struts, so these are waiting to go with the rest, but obviously because these, I've got the 2 expansion packs in, as I said, so that's just as it comes normally, and then there's that piece there and that piece there to spring out. But obviously the length that these go, I don't need, you can see of how much of a overhang, like how much extra it is and how much I've had to cut off due to the fact of, if I put in the whole strip, it takes me up to about here, and then obviously that'll move and then it'll be out here, which I don't need it to be, because then it would rearrange all the rest of it. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this. So we'll take it up to the layout, see how it looks. Obviously I've made 2, fingers crossed that it fits, and from the measurements that I've taken. So we'll be back in a sec, guys. So this is both of them in play. There's a slight bit of miscalculation on of how much I needed to cut, obviously for spacing and all the rest of it. It should be about there, which gives me a little bit of gap there between the actual mast and the retaining wall at the back there. But plan, obviously this is 1, 2, I think there'd be 4, 5, I think 6, and then it'll be 7th here, and then after that they'll just be going into the doubles, going off, and then obviously this will all be, this won't have any of the catenary work. So obviously if I do manage to get electric lotos like a class 92 or whatever, you mean they'll start up on their normal diesel engines, and then obviously when they go through, and then whatever they end up on the platform, and then whatever service they connect to, then obviously, you know, they can raise the pantograph and start the electrification process that way. So the idea with the platforms is that where these bases are here, the other pack of the bases, it's got like a little H symbol sat in it, obviously because I need to cut out the 2 levels of cork for the other base for these to sit on, because otherwise it drops down in height and then they won't be the correct height, as I think they need to be 100, I think it's 100 millimeters off the top. So obviously once you put the little masts in, so the bottom of the receiver with the wires is should be about there, which is about right. And obviously if they go in, then they're not going to sit right. So once I've got all these 7 done, I think that should be 1 full pat really. Then I will get, or the next stage will be to get the little bases, cut the mark out where these are going, glue them other bases in the places that these need to be, so I know then that when it comes to finally putting these into position on the last, this will be, these catenary works will be the last thing that go in place. So obviously once I've done the ballasting, all the many various detailing and all the rest of it, these will be the last bit, so I know where they should be going. And then obviously the platforms, I won't be using these Hornby ones, but I will be building the platforms around them. So as you can see, the platform edge will more or less cover the bases of the catenary work, so you won't really see it. But like Jan over at AY78, I think it is, he put his into his platforms, and I'll be doing a similar thing, whether it will be two pieces of like a piece of MDF cut straight down the middle and then notched out, whether it be a bigger hole or whatnot. And then obviously when it comes to laying the scale model, scenery modern platform kit sheets down, obviously make them more nice and neat to cut on the bottom there, or whether I just do 2 sheets of plywood stacked up high and the same again. Not 100% sure yet, or I don't know whether to kind of copy like this sort of thing where it's got a piece on one side and a piece on the other. Yeah, so the other, as I said, the first 2 that I was building in the video, although this one needs a bit of re-gluing of sorts. As I said, they got, try and put this wall back up if it'll go, if it'll stay. I think it was by there. Yeah, so obviously these, where that pen line marks out, that's where the tunnel port will be, and then this one will be set back, and then obviously they'll be corresponding. So I think the next one, I think it's 430 something, so it should be around about there, and then for that one should be around about here. And then theoretically, once it gets to about here, is where there'll be 2 where it's straight across 4, and then obviously this bridge will need to be raised, because there is a considerable height difference. So if I can try and hold the camera while doing this, you'll see of how much the bridge needs to be more or less raised to, which I think I worked it out to the height of a block, which then in turn obviously will make all this be raised up a bit more, and then along the back there that'll be raised up the same again, so it should be I think about there. So to be honest, if that's going to be the bottom layer of the board, that gives me a bit more space to get my hands into, although I probably won't put a track too close to the wall here. So where that 57 is, I think that'll be the only track there, and then I'll just use a bit of styrofoam or whatever to create like a little embankment coming down to the wall to make it look like, obviously, I mean, it was a hillside at one point, and then obviously the railways come in many years ago and put a retaining wall in to keep the land back from landsliding, and obviously that they've left a little piece going along the top there, so theoretically it should come up to about here, which will give me a nice bit of height on the village scene. Obviously, like I said, with plans about fallow car system or whatever, I was looking forward to having it like as it is now, and then obviously the height difference, the vehicle of whatever sorts would go around, and then put a few trees to make it look like it goes around the corner, and then it pop up back on another street or whatever, and then do the same at the top there. But at the minute it's not really feasible with finances and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'm going to try, as I said, continue doing these if I can get it to stands. There you go. So yeah, so these are, so it's 1, 2, I think it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think it was. I think I counted 7. So from there going along here, there was 7 of them long, I think, off the top of my head. Due to obviously the fact of, I think it's every other way I originally marked them, although currently at the minute, obviously, because I just wanted to see what it looked like with 2 platforms in the middle. But yeah, so there's, although that's not currently in its place of dwelling, marking, whatever, it might come. I can try and move it. It's always fun when you try and do this while holding the camera, obviously, because of these bends. That one's not so bad because obviously the curves end there. What is this one? The curves are here, and these, with it being 4th, 3rd, 4th and 3rd, these would have been quite tight if they'd have been there. You mean they'd have been more like 1st and 2nd, or a little bit lower than 1st. But yeah, they might even just have to put a little piece of board in here just to obviously allow that to sit a little bit more convenient, so to say, off the end of the board. But yeah, we might go from there, and then, you know, have the, where that, just that end of the buttress, whatever, goes along here, and then that'll be, might have to cut this track short a bit, but whatever, that'll be then the city and town scene. So yeah, behind the scenes, I'll carry on building these, and then once I've got them all set up, we should have I should have more of an indication then of how a pack of sorts, and how many it does. Obviously, if you're going to do one pack, you can do 20 of them, so obviously 10, so it'll give you 10 masts, I think it is. So, you know, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, and then 10 should theoretically get me around about there. But obviously, because I've built the 2 that are here, if it stays up, yeah, it takes me down. But I've got, as I said, I've got enough to try and get on with. So hopefully, to wrap up this little part, I will leave it a couple of days and see how more I get, and then hopefully I'll have them all done, and then obviously this will rejigged and whatever else. So we'll be back in a couple of days. So been a couple of days, and this is where we are up to with the catenary work. I still have, I think these 2. I think I've got enough out of the other pack to do, I think 7 or 6 more of these, possibly 8. So they're all measured out to where they need to go. Obviously, I'll need to mark the bases for where they need to sit, and the respective Obviously I won't be staying with the Hornby platforms, they'll be MDF, but just putting it out so I know of what it'll supposedly look like. Yeah, so they'll all be like this through the station area, and then when it comes to this bit here, this is where they'll start going in the doubles. They are marked, obviously. This one's in the process of I am doing. This one I will video on how I go about doing what I'm doing there. So that's not so much a test run, but doing this one, I know then for when I come to video, doing this one, I know what I'm doing. So the line there represents straight across where the next two will cross, and then obviously there, and I think the next one is where that line is there, and then they go straight across there, and then there'll be two straight underneath the bridge, and then again roughly about where the pencil is there, and then this is when then it gets a bit more technical because they're going over the full length of the 4 tracks, but it's quite a small compact area. So roughly about where the pencil is there is where one stand will be, and then the other, this will be a straight one piece cross, so there'll be no ladder work in the middle. So as I said, I think the next one's roughly about there, and then for this one it'll span straight across there somewhere, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, I think about four masts there, might be possibly 3, as I know that there's variance in the sizes. So yeah, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more doubles to do, which the pack I've got left will probably do this section, and then whatever I've got left I can start hopefully mocking up this area. And then same again, tunnel portals there, this will all be 4 up until a certain point, and then whatever the measurements are, they'll go down to 2 underneath the tunnel portals here, and I think it'll be there'll be 1 4 straight across there, 1 4 roughly about there, and then off that then is where they'll go 2, 2, 2 and 2, and then that will finish off then the catenary work, obviously throughout the layout. Like I said, I'll need to mark out the bases, or cut the bases out, and then order the H packs for these to sit in, which I'll probably order this coming Friday when I get paid. In the meantime of while doing these catenary works, the building of that first viaduct, when the camera wants to focus, I started doing the cable trunking just to see what it's like to put together. It's quite fiddly. I'm going to see if I can mock up a jig of some sort and try and see if I can do it nice and neat, because there's bits on that are all folded in on each other. So yeah, this is, well, state of the layout. I also have built, I don't know if you can see it, the scale model scenery port cabins, but I didn't realise the bottom one, it's the wrong way around that door, so I've put it closed. Is it? Oh no, sorry, no, that one's fine. It's the upper one here that I've done wrong, but I'm not really bothered. I've put in a piece of glaze in there. It'll be more or less like that, and I'll put a chap at the top here, making it look like he's just opened up and he's about to, you know, have a coffee and start the day. So that's what I've been up to. Obviously that'll be the next phase I need to do. Obviously I'll finish off this one. I've only got this piece needs to go along the back here, and then all the gubbins of what I've done inside will go this side, and I'll put the sides up, and then I'll cork it and then lay the track properly. This I've put in trying to go around with a curve. This was what it was originally before I cut the board, so I just put it back in. I'll cork out this piece as well, and it gives me firm foundations to go across. So yeah, that'll be the next project for the next 2 weeks. Well, finishing off that one, and then be the recording of this one. I have taken photos of that one as I'm going along, so yeah, that'll be interesting to build. So yeah, that's the work that I've done for the last, well, I'll say this month's update. I've cut that piece of track there, and then this piece obviously I need to rejig with that one for the shed to go in, and then obviously I'll put in a piece. Also as well, I've started extending these boards. I just need to get a piece from this to go into that to support it a bit more, and then I'll run the same along that way there, but the same again from here down to there. So that's, as I said, that's where I've been, or what I'm up to at the minute. As I said, they're the next 2 weeks projects that are still, this track still needs wiring in. This all wants a bus wire put in and wired up. There's a bit of wiring I need to do on that. I need to circulate it in. So once I've done them two, then I can make a start on, as I said, I'll wire this track in, and then hopefully I can order a few of the Hornby surface mounted points, just so I can put in certain areas, and then yeah, I'll start. There's only certain sections of this that are pinned. I think there's, yeah, it's just that piece there, that bit there, that, well, I might not pin that because it's not really, well, it's not even worth it, to be honest. But yeah, I'll start laying out the, I'll lay this fiddle yard out first, as I know I'm happy with the tracks as they are here. So this will be the next, after the viaduct, this will be the next month's update, hopefully, fingers crossed, or the next two months or whatever, and then I can fully store trains in the back there, out the way, and then the bridge will have to be raised, and all the rest of it, and then going on from there, I'll just loosely lay the track along the back there to make it a continuous loop, and then that'll be the last one, or the last fiddle yard, part of the fiddle yard that I'll put in, because it's the most easiest to get to be honest, compared to that side. So yeah, thanks for, well, supposedly watching the video. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed it. Feedback is always welcome, comments, thoughts and suggestions on doing what, and for those that are watching that aren't subscribed, click the subscribe button, click the bell, and then you'll be notified with the latest updates that I do. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I will leave it with a running shot or two, and I will see you in the next update. Bye for now.